1 month ago today, Star Wars released a book that takes place after the fall of Endor. This really is, as far as canon goes, the latest that we've seen of the Star Wars universe. Now, as of, well, before really September 4th, which was exactly a month ago today, there really hadn't been anything canon that transpired beyond Episode 6. But now, a month ago, with the release of Star Wars Aftermath, there is, this is just of course one of many books, comic books and other things that are transpiring after the Return of the Jedi, and we have 75 days or so, less than 75 days left until The Force Awakens comes out. So here are just a few things to expect when you're reading the book. The first thing to expect is that Star Wars Aftermath occurs many months after the destruction of the second Death Star. How many months? The book never specifies, although the reader's left up to guess that it's been less than a year. Otherwise, it would have simply stated that it's been a year, perhaps more, since that's happened. Also, it's not been 3 or 4 months, so one might be left to guess that somewhere between 7 and 11 months have transpired since the second Death Star's destruction. It's also interesting that there's a character who goes to a very far off planet, very far off planet, seeking solace, refuge, having lost tragically his wife and child in a battle between the rebels and the Empire. He finds Jakku. So clearly this book takes place sometime before the Battle of Jakku. A second thing to consider when reading Star Wars Aftermath is that the Empire is slipping. Since the terrible, tragic destruction of their second Death Star, they really have been reeling on their heels and trying to deal with the rebels. And that's definitely been a struggle for them, especially in this book. If you do actually pick up the book and decide to read it, you'll see how badly the Empire is going. And also, conversely, you'll see how well the Rebel Alliance is doing. Now, they've not only picked up steam, but now they've formed a new republic. And so this is different trajectories, and their paths are crossing. A third thing you might see when you read Star Wars Aftermath is that while the story focuses primarily on one storyline going on the main planet of Akiva, which is in the Outer Rim, there are actually many side stories not taking place in Akiva. At first I thought this was distracting. How could you take us away? And it's not even clear that they have nothing to do with each other. In fact, early on in the book there are many different story threads that one doesn't know whether it's going to become relevant or whether it's just a nice thing. Nevertheless, once one picks up steam as a reader, you get through midway through the book or so and you realize there are some story threads that are simply that, just mere threads, to give you a better sense of what's going on way beyond what's going on in the main story that's taking place on the planet of Akiva. Sometimes we get to see some familiar characters. One of these interludes that has nothing to do with the primary story here, it actually involves the Millennium Falcon. We get to see Han Solo and Chewbacca. They're flying along and they're having a nice time just by themselves. So those are a few things I have to say if you're planning on reading Star Wars Aftermath. And if you do, enjoy. You get to be introduced to some of the characters, one of whom actually comes back from a previous book. If you had read Star Wars A New Dawn, you get to see more of Admiral Rey Sloane, or read more about Admiral Rey Sloane. She returns. I look forward to many more books coming out on the journey of The Force Awakens. May the Force be with you.